I have been on my reading grind lately, and I have so many good book recommendations for you today. I am so excited. So I actually created 2 more book videos besides this one. So after you watch this one, you can go check those ones out. If you want some more really good book recommendations, those will be linked up here and down below. Oh my gosh, I suggest that you stay until the end of this video because you will find out my favorite books out of these 10 that I read. I rank them from 1 to 10. So I start with 1. 1 is my least favorite and 10 is my most favorite. So 10 will be at the end. So again, stick around to see that one. Let's just jump into some book reviews. All right, so the first book that I will be reviewing today, this is number 1. So this is my least favorite book out of all the ones that I read, is Sam and Ilsa's Last Hurrah. And this one is by David Levithan and Rachel Cohn. So here's a synopsis. When twins Sam and Ilsa throw one last party before they graduate from high school, they add a twist. Each sibling gets to invite 3 guests and the other won't know until they show up. This book, it was very odd because there was no plot. Again, it was just a lot of character development and like growth. It was a 2-perspective book, which I guess was kind of fun, but my main issue was I couldn't like understand the like emotions of the characters. Like I felt like they just kept changing their emotions and it just didn't make any sense. It was very hard to follow, and also the 2 main characters were very like pretentious. All right, so book number 2, this is also one that I wasn't a huge fan of, is Mind the Gap from the Dash and Lily Book of Dare series by David Levithan and Rachel Cohn. So here's the synopsis. After Dash gets accepted to Oxford University and Lily stays in New York to take care of her dog walking business, the devoted couple are struggling to make a long distance relationship work. When Dash breaks the news that he won't be coming home for Christmas, Lily makes a decision. If Dash can't come home to her, she'll join him in London. I was very disappointed with this book because I really liked the first Dash and Lily book, but this one just wasn't it. I feel like, again, there was not a huge point to the story, and the whole thing was just Dash and Lily being like completely indecisive, and like at the end they still didn't make up their minds about what they were being indecisive about in the first place. Dash and Lily, like both of the characters kind of got a little annoying towards the end of the book. Like I was getting annoyed when I was reading it, and I just kind of wanted to rush through it to finish it because I just didn't like it. And that's not the kind of book that I want to read where I'm not looking forward to reading it. All right, so the third book, again, this was one that I was not a huge fan of, is again Dash and Lily Book of Dares. This was the 3rd book in the series by David Levithan and Rachel Cohn. So the synopsis is, told in the alternating voices of Dash and Lily, 2 16-year-olds carry on a wintry scavenger hunt at Christmas time in New York, neither knowing quite what or who they will find. Oh, this one, again, it just, I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I feel like Dash and Lily, again, were very annoying. Like Lily was very immature and like very hard to relate to, but Dash's part, or his part of the book, was a little bit more entertaining. He was very witty and I kind of liked reading that part. All right, so the next book is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. So avoiding relationships to protect her sensitive heart, plus-size Molly supports her one cynical twin, Cassie, when the latter has her own bout about love sickness, a situation that is complicated by sibling dynamics and an unexpected romantic triangle. I will say, the end of this book was really good. It ended in more of a positive note, but it took a really long time to actually get into, and the main character was so negative about everything, and it was kind of just like a downer to read it. All right, so book number 5 is History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. So secrets are revealed as OCD afflicted Griffin grieves for his first love, Theo, who died in a drowning accident. Even though Theo had moved to California for college and started seeing Jackson, Griffin never doubted Theo would come back to him when the time was right. But when Theo dies in a drowning accident, the future he's been imagining for himself is gone. So I had very mixed feelings about this book. I literally finished this book like last night, so it's like fresh in my brain. But I had mixed feelings because the first like 75% of the book was, you know, kind of slow to get into, but then the last like 25% of the book was very intense, and the ending was, it was good. Like it was so intense, like there was so much happening at the end, but I wish that the whole book was more like the ending of the book. It was just, you know, very slow to get into. All right, so book number 6 is The Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. So the summary is, after falling for Kate, her unexpected death sends Jack back in time to the moment they first met, but he soon learns his actions have consequences when someone else close to him dies. This book was really, really good. I liked it a lot. The characters were extremely fun to read about and like to get to know throughout the book. And the concept was very unique. I haven't read a book like that before, and I feel like Justin Reynolds did a really good job at rewriting history, but like not in a boring way. Like the same things happened over and over again, but he wrote it different ways, so it never got boring. It was a really good book. I liked it a lot. I would read it again. The only thing is the ending made me a little unsettled because it was a lot of interpretation at the end, which I guess some people may like, but I personally like a set, like clean-cut ending, so I know exactly what happens, and this is definitely not one of those endings, but I guess that's also kind of the fun of the book because you're just like trying to figure out why time kept repeating itself. All right, so book number 7 is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. Told in 2 voices, when author, a summer intern from Georgia, and Ben, a native New Yorker, meet, it seems like fate. But after 3 attempts at dating fail, they wonder if the universe is pushing them together or apart. This was a very cute love story. I liked it a lot. It was a 2-perspective book again, but the authors did a really great job at getting both perspectives, but it wasn't redundant in any way. So it, like, each perspective just added more to the story, and it was very, very entertaining to read. All right, so book number 8 is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. When his mother became president, Alex Claremont Diaz was promptly cast as the American equivalent of a young royal. Alex had beef with an actual prince, Henry, across the pond. When the tabloids get a hold of a photo involving an Alex-Henry altercation, US-British relations take a turn for the worst. It was kind of a long summary, but this was a great book. If you like romance, young adult books, then read this one. Like, I was like sad when this book was over, and that's when I know that I found a good book, because like I was like really sad when I finished it. It was so good. It was such a funny story, but then there was also some like actual serious topics in the book. And the other thing that I really enjoyed is how it took place like in the White House. Casey McQuiston's like idea and perspective of the White House was so cool, about how he was like, you know, the first son of the United States and things like that. All right, so book number 9, this is such a good one, is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Spending the summers on her family's private island off the coast of Massachusetts with her cousins and a special boy named Gat, teenage Cadence struggles to remember what happened during her 15th summer. Let me tell you, that synopsis does not do the book justice. I got a lot of recommendations to read this book, and I'm very glad that I did, because this is obviously not like a typical book I feel like I would read, but I loved it. The story was so well executed and intense. The ending, like once you get to that one point, you're like, like I was shocked. My sister read it right before I did, so like when I read it, we were like talking about it and we were like freaking out. It was crazy. All right, so the very last book, this is book number 10. My favorite book out of the 10 that I have read is They Both Die in the End by Adam Silvera. In a near future New York City, where a service alerts people on the day they will die, teenagers Mateo Torres and Rufus M. Materio meet using the Last Friend app and are faced with the challenge of living a lifetime on their end day. I surprised myself with how much I liked this book. It was so good. This is another one that I did not want to put down. I looked forward to reading this book like every single day. It was so great. And the story sounds very morbid because it's literally just like about death, but it wasn't in some way. Like the author did a really great job at making it still an enjoyable story and not like a downer in any way. But the structure of the story was really awesome. Oh, and the other thing that I really liked about this book was that the author kind of threw in different perspectives from different characters. So there would be just like a small chapter about just someone they like walked past in the street or something, and that added a lot to the story. Also, if you read They Both Die in the End, when you finish it, like message me on Instagram because I want to know, I want to hear your thoughts about the ending, because this was another ending that had like a lot of interpretation. So yeah, message me on Instagram if you read this one, because I would love to hear what you think. All right, so those are all the 10 young adult book reviews that I have for you today. I hope that maybe you found some good books that you will want to read. Again, there were some really, really good ones in here. And also, if you want some more great book reviews, I have 2 more book review videos that I will link up here and down below. Those are also filled with so many great books that I think you're gonna love. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, and comment if you've read any of these books or what you're currently reading right now. Bye.